Hey, what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music. I'm in LA with one of my favorite dudes, favorite musicians, producers, guitar players, Eric Krasno. So many Grammy-winning,
Appreciate you coming through, man.
Soulive, Lettuce, producing a bunch of people.
I jump around. It's been awesome to be here in LA the last few years and build this studio and get to work with some awesome people.
Love it. So we've got a quick, show and tell of some of your awesome guitar collection.
Yeah.
There's so many cool ones. I don't know where to start. You know better than me, but I mean, obviously you're good friends with Derek Trucks, John Mayer. You've played with pretty much every living legend, but you also have some guitars through those relationships.
Yeah, there's been some guitars. Some have been gifts or passed down to me. A couple of guitars that I had as a kid that I had signed. So let's check.
Yeah, let's check them out.
I bought this in Boston, and this is on a lot of the earliest Soulive gigs and records and live. And an interesting story, when I started working with Ibanez, I'd already had this guitar, and we played an event at NAMM where it was Soulive, John Scofield, and George Benson. And I had this guitar in my hand, and John Scofield brought me in the room to meet George Benson. And I, of course, was like, "Oh my God, Mr. Benson, sir." And but he didn't realize I was in the other band. He just saw this guitar, grabbed it from me, and signed the back. It wasn't until later, we did shows with him later, where I explained to him, "No, I'm in the opening band." But anyway, this is a GB10 or GB20. George Benson's signature model, and he signed the back.
Isn't it incredible that how he uses his thumb the way he does?
It's insane, like that Wes Montgomery style.
But he used to pick at one point in his career.
He uses to pick as well.
Oh, okay.
So I think he goes back and forth.
Yeah.
So this one, unfortunately, isn't really playable at the moment because I need to repair this.
But it's signed by George Benson.
It's signed by George Benson, so this one goes on the wall currently. I've got two guitars that were passed on to me from Derek Trucks. These were Derek Trucks guitars. This one, when I was working with him on what became this first Tedeschi Trucks album called Revelator.
Yep.
We did a bunch of sessions, kind of writing and jamming, one of which was with Oteil Burbridge and Adam Deitch and Kofi. And this guitar was there, and I played it on those sessions, and he was like, "Man, you sound so good on that guitar. You should have it." And I was like, no. And then I went on a short tour. When I got to my apartment in Brooklyn, this was there. He had shipped it there, and it's a 59 VOS, I think, but I don't know exactly when it was made, but it's a beautiful guitar. And I ended up using this neck shape, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but to create my signature model guitar with the AS200 with Ibanez, I actually had them digitally scan this neck because I loved it so much.
Can Derek ever be seen with a non-SG, on stage?
So he plays a 335 sometimes, and I think there's some special, I don't know if it was Clapton's or something, but there's one that he's played.
It's just not any old 335.
Yeah, there's something special to it.
Yeah.
But, and then this one here
from Derek
also
as
from
well.
Derek. This is from one of the later sessions. I worked on the record called Made Up Mind.
I love that.
And yeah, thank you. I also like it. But we wrote like 5 songs on that record. Me and him and Dave Gutter. And I collaborated with Derek and Susan. So anyway, I can't take credit for the recording, but I can take credit for some of the.
But I love that. I love the album.
And I played on a few songs. And during those sessions, I mean, what's cool, working with Derek and Sue, they'd have me stay in the studio. They have a little crash pad upstairs, and and he had a bunch of prototypes for what became his signature model. And I had been doing a signature model with Ibanez. We were talking about how that process came together and that kind of thing, and we kind of played a few of the ones they sent, and this one had a special vibe to it and a special sustain. So and this one I did take with me, I believe. I mean, I did some stuff to it. I added this Bigsby, and a friend of mine added this wooden deal there.
What do you like SGs for? Because you play a lot of semi-hollow bodies, and maybe because of getting older and playing lighter guitars. You play the Silver Sky.
Yeah, I really dug the Silver Sky too, but the SG has a certain thing that sustain the neck, the length of the neck, the feel of the neck. Sometimes the intonation's a little wonky when I'm playing chords, but there's something about this guitar, it sings, you know?
Nice.
And so when I ended up creating the D'Angelico signature model, it was very much in my mind merging an SG, like elements of the SG, elements of like the Strat and the Silver Sky. So this was the first Silver Sky that John or PRS sent, and I was blown away at how great this guitar was.
So this is like from the first batch?
From the first batch. I don't know if it's in tune or not, but that's from before the first batch, really. And
he was like, hey, John, I'm John Mayer, and I'm good friends with you, Eric Krasno.
I don't remember how exactly it went down, but he sent me one. You know, we had this back and forth happening at the time, because I'd been playing with Phil Lesh for a little while, and he was starting to play with Dead & Company. Or I mean, it was maybe before he had actually started playing, but I knew he had been rehearsing with them because Oteil and I had been close. And Oteil connected us again, even though I knew him back in the day, but you know, he had changed numbers, whatever. And Oteil like sent a text like, hey John, like talk to Kraz about tone and stuff. And so we talked for like 2 hours one night, and he ended up sending me the Super Eagle guitar that was kind of built for the Dead tour.
Full hollow body one?
I don't think it was maybe it was semi hollow. I can't remember, but I had it for maybe 8 or 9 months, and he sent it to me, and I didn't realize when he was sending it to me that it was like this really special handmade guitar, like, and it had like the number, I can't remember if it was number 1 or number 2. That's crazy, but I'll look back at pictures. I ended up sending it back to him before the tour because he needed it back. But we just started, like, it kind of turned into this ongoing conversation about tone and stuff. So anyway, he sent me this. I was blown away by the tone, and honestly what it did for me was kind of like make me realize like what the radius of the neck really means, because I didn't really know that. And like the 7 1/4 radius had this special spot, you know, of like how you can bend and whatever. And then the pickups specifically, I thought were so well done and had that early 60s Strat vibe.
Is he going to that a lot?
For like the Garcia stuff, yeah. But like I think he's more there, and then I'm more there, you know. And
did you roll sometimes?
Sometimes, but not really. Usually full bore. Or like I was around for the rollout video for this, which was the SE model. We did this video where it's a bunch of us playing the SE models, which are like I think $800 or $900.
Oh yeah, the like ad.
Yeah, there was an ad where you
my shout out my friend Lindsay L.
Yeah, Lindsay that's how I met Lindsay.
Yeah, she worked
in the studio a little bit too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You guys do a song?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
I hope that song comes out one of these days.
Very good.
But so this guitar was one of the SEs, and he actually did this little inscription on the back.
What? Don't be jealous, folks.
But this one honestly feels pretty close to the other ones, and I'm amazed that they were able to create this guitar so affordably. PRS is incredible. What he does is amazing. I fell in love with these pickups, and that inspired my next signature model. So this right here is the EK model Brighton by D'Angelico. So this guitar was very much, you know, inspired by the SG and the Silver Sky and my other Strat. Single coil pickups, but they're in this like really cool humbucker casing, but it has like the spank of a Strat and that rhythm kind of funk thing that I couldn't always get out of my SG or out of my humbuckers, but it has some of that sing that I was talking about, that sustain thing, something about the neck and the body shape, and it feels more like an SG. But the other cool thing is, you know, I just went super simple with the just volume and tone, because sometimes having the 4 knobs, I'd like didn't use them as much. This one I really use these, and so it's a kind of like a telly setup where it's just, you know, front.
And those are not humbuckers in there?
These are single coil pickups,
right? And a humbucker casing.
So which kind of gave it this unique tone. It's not quite. I mean, people would say P90, but It's not really. It's really a single coil that's like just wrapped different. MJ from Seymour Duncan made these pickups, and we're working on making those available in the future. So stay tuned.
Ooh, this looks nice.
This is cool. It's a 61 Silvertone. Really cool. Gold foil? What are those pickups? I don't know, but they're the...
Oh, don't worry. Leave a comment below, expert.
Yeah, somebody let me know what these pickups are, but they're awesome. And these are really cool because they just toggle on and off.
Ooh.
These pickups, and then these are tone and
dainty
for each. But this is such a great studio guitar, like fuzz, tremolo, like vintage vibe sounding, and it's got that twang, that single note deal, like just cuts through. I use it on a lot of like soul type of records.
Those pickups just look so cool.
Yeah,
I don't know what they are.
This is just a vibey guitar. It was, I'm sure it was like $50 when it came out. Like there was a Sears made this, you know. But such
how'd
a cool
you get
sound.
This one?
I got this one in a random shop in Asheville, North Carolina. And I got it for a tour when I was on tour with Lettuce way back in the day. Ended up proving to be a way better studio guitar than a live guitar for me, like intonation stuff,
probably
whatever.
feeding
back, but it's such a cool guitar. I've used it so much on so many records.
And for records, a little like almost sounds on fire feedback, and a little intonation, like that bad good sound,
weird thing,
like Jack White, like uses that vibe.
And then these guitars kind of had a revival with the whole Daptone crew, like the Dap Kings. All these guys use these, and you'll see them on, see them. They've made a resurgence and are like kind of popular again through some of that. This is a 1962 SJ Gibson. Was owned by Neil Casal. When he unfortunately passed away a few years ago, they were basically, creating the Neil Casal Foundation, and a bunch of us kind of that were close to him donated to the foundation or bought these guitars as a donation to the foundation, which is supporting music education and having like mental health and wellness and stuff. So anyway, beautiful guitar, sounds good. This is one of those guitars that just sounds good wherever. You can put the mic anywhere around it. And this one's so fun. The Jerry Jones Sitar. This is one of those guitars where it's like you got to be careful because I'll play it on everything.
And people will be like, okay, now for the Sitar.
Yeah, so like putting that, you have to be very careful how much you put this on records in the studio.
Tune these?
No.
That's just for the
resonance
sound.
This is a Goya. Yeah, the Italian company Goya. This is a really cool guitar. Shout out to Ella Feingold. When I saw her playing one, it inspired me to get one. Lots of cool, fun options to play with for the studio. Obviously, the trim bar.
Multiple pickup configurations?
Yes, it's all the different configurations, and then this is an EQ and a volume. So fun, like weird.
Reminds me of like maybe some old vintage keyboard buttons or something.
It's kind of like a Vox Continental or one of those, or a Farfisa. This is a beautiful guitar. I was in the market for a Les Paul, and I bought a few to get to this one. I bought a custom, it was like a mid-70s custom, and it didn't have the right thing. It was like more of the Ace Frehley guitar than like, the Dwayne Allman guitar.
I've almost exclusively gone that way from these.
Interesting.
And with a little sometimes rolling off the tone.
Yep. I should experiment with that. But yeah, I haven't used it much recently. I had someone file the neck. The neck was massive, which I dug for my 335, so I thought I was going to dig it for this, but it didn't have the match. So I had my friend from LA Guitar, Ryan, shave it down a bit, but I haven't quite like gotten used to it.
So Les Pauls are not like soul R&B funk guitars.
They can be, but they're not known for that. But like Schmeens uses one, and like it's he makes it sound funky. Mac Guitar Murphy was pretty funky, and he mostly play Les Paul. But but I hear you. It's more of a rock and roll thing.
Maybe it's just the guitarist that gravitated towards it.
Well,
like
it is
Jimmy Page,
right? It's beefy. I mean, this guitar is like, I always have to really brighten it up to make it a rhythm guitar. Mm-hmm. But the lead stuff's always killer, especially with Overdrive. What I've found is like these guitars with the humbuckers work better with Overdrive, and that my single coil Strats and like my D'Angelico with Fuzz. There's a marriage there.
Yeah.
When you
I don't like Fuzz with humbuckers.
Fuzz with humbuckers turns into metal, which is fine. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It starts, but it easily can go there versus a single coil with Fuzz can have that like all filtered. It's almost like you can almost lean towards an envelope filter, has that tone where it's really expressive.
Yeah.
And you can get so many cool nuances. Because that's my thing, is like playing with dynamics. I'm not like the fastest shredder, but those dynamics and trying to sound lyrical and vocal is like such a huge part of my thing. So like having that kind of edge to play with Fuzz or with an envelope filter is like such a cool tool for me.
Awesome. This is just one of the Grammys that he's won. Let's see. This was when you were working with Aaron Neville. Let's just talk about it real quick.
So the funny thing about this is we actually made this record, the initial record, Stomping Ground. We made that song in like the mid 2000s, I want to say, and we got the Grammy in 2022 because it was actually we filmed a documentary shortly after making the album, and we recut the song with Dirty Dozen Brass Band and we put it in the film. When that film came out, this was up for a Grammy, which came out years later.
Yeah.
So anyway, we made this record, and it got really good press, but I was a little bummed that it didn't get a Grammy nod initially, because we felt so good about it, and it felt like a statement that he was making this record with a younger generation of musicians. Lettuce is on the record, the Dap King guys are on the record. It's a very like funky album. He hadn't made a funk album in a long time, since the early 60s. So anyway, the album we made initially is called Apache, but then this was part of the film Take Me to the River, and that's how
I brought it out. I am showing it off for you because you're a humble guy, but I'm such a huge fan of everything you've done. You've had this long, amazing career, and I wanted to say congratulations.
Thanks,
it's well deserved, well earned, and I'm very proud to know you. And I think there's more to come.
I hope so.
And congratulations once again.
Buddy.
And also, you guys, once again, let's thank Eric Krasno. He's contributed a lot, some that you know of and some that you may not realize he was involved in. But he's made a huge impact on the music I like and a lot of the music you guys like out there, whether you know it or not. So go look him up, check out his, the different things he's produced and played guitar on, and hopefully we'll hang again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we will.
Thanks,
All right,
Marty.
We'll see you guys.